Still singing that shit.
I'm done now. It's time to turn up.
I wanna brag about it.
I'm drinking, bitch.
My bad. Hey, we is live though. Yo, what it do? Welcome back to another episode of the weekly Lifestyle After 5 stream. It's your moderator, Lord Shu, back with another great episode. It's gonna be interesting tonight, y'all. Just want to thank everybody who keeps on watching and keeps showing love. Also, want to shout out all of the people who leaving comments or anybody that is coming to us and supporting us, seeing us in the streets, just showing love. We appreciate that. Check out our website, aliafter5.com, for all of our merchandise, exclusive content. And you can also check us out on x.com at lifestyle after 5 or lifestyle 925, all numbers underscore. So I'm gonna pass it off to the guys and the lady. We also I will be in the chat, so please leave some comments or questions that you have for any of our hosts tonight. I want to tell them so that they can let y'all know on the stream and answer any questions y'all have or anything of that nature. Also, actually, yeah, that's it. So until next time, y'all, peace out.
What's going on? We're here for another Wednesday. Hopefully my mic survive. Wednesday's always up among us. What's going on, Vanna?
I'm doing all right. I recently hurt myself. My patella slipped in my you bitch. Sorry, that was my ring light protesting.
I'm finna say, what is a you bitch?
My patella in my knee. Okay, I'm just apparently doing this in darkness. My patella in my knee slipped because despite everything in my body telling me to slow down and rest and take care of myself, my ambitious self kept going. And if you don't make time for your health, you will have to make time for your injuries. So for the past since like Sunday, so for the past 4 days, I have been hobbling around and not very useful, and I've been pretty mad at myself. But everything happens for a reason. I'm going to take better care of myself. I'm going to be working on more yoga and losing some weight so that there isn't so much on my joints because I already struggle with arthritis and stuff at 23. So
You got to take a lot. You got to take care of yourself. Health
I'm
is
trying.
wealth.
I'm trying.
I just turned 48, and all I need is some vitamin Beijing on my head once a week, and I'm good to go. Keep it real. What up? MD Red, you paused up over there. Are you with us? Well, I guess it's
Damn,
just
he done
me and
found
you
this the
tonight.
song, bro.
I know. He looks
God,
like he froze up. Can you see him?
he is standing still for me. It's a little creepy.
I can't see
Yeah.
nothing. Hold
Look
on.
like he
Dad,
had a look
Stop
like he
video.
seized up. Oh, now
uh,
he with the phone. But anyway, we'll keep it
well,
rolling like we always do.
technical
We'll get
difficulties.
started. We'll get started with the holidays.
Yeah,
Today is National Hug Your Dog Day. For
done
all
that.
you animal and dog lovers out there, get that mud away from me. Just playing. Don't have Peter after me. It is National Siblings Day. That's why my sister called me. She didn't wish me happy Siblings Day, but happy Siblings Day to all the siblings out there. It is the birth anniversary of Mahaka Bryant Masano. What is that? It's a tribute to the talented artists whose contributions enrich the community and country. I'm sorry, but I cannot pronounce that. That is weird. A lot of weird one. Encourage your young writer today. So if you have a young writer in your life or know a young writer, encourage them. It's also Global Work from Home Day. My job didn't get the memo. It's Golfers Day, although it's raining here in Georgia. International Safety Pin Day. They actually have a day. I haven't even seen a safety pin in definitely a few years.
I haven't seen a safety pin since I was like 7 years old, and mom gave up on trying to pin our socks together when we washed clothes. That was like the
National Book.
last time I'd seen a safety pin.
I know. National Book Mobile Day. I don't know what it is. You can make if you can't make it to a regular library, explore fictional world through mobile libraries. No one really goes
Isn't that
to
just a Kindle?
library. Yeah. Well, actually, you can get read books online. Check out books online nowadays. It is also National Kelvin Day. If your name is Kelvin, today is all about celebrating you. Calvin. He's the dude that first guy that got a job, first black guy that got a job in the hood for McDonald's. Ain't you remember Kelvin? You might be a little too young to remember those commercials.
No, I don't
Bro,
Jesus
know.
Christ.
what?
When
You
I
remember
heard
Kelvin?
Kelvin, I thought of the game The Sons of the Forest. They have an NPC that crash lands with you that is supposed to be like assistance. His name is Kelvin and he goes deaf in the crash. So you just like write down little notes and tell him what to do. And this motherfucker, without fail, every time you tell him to chop down a tree, will destroy your entire base. So when you said National Kelvin Day, I'm just hearing the screams of angry gamers
Oh, back,
screaming at Kelvin.
back in the day, they used to have this commercial with McDonald's of Calvin, this black guy from the hood. Dave Chappelle actually done a skit on it, and Calvin was like the Facebook of he was in the hood and got a real job at McDonald's, and he was moving up and he was doing things. You know, he was making those Big Macs and turning those fries. So that's what I thought about with National Calvin Day. But Calvin, this is for you. National Cinnamon Croissant Day,
That's some dirty biscuit.
National Farm Animal Day. This is a lot of days today. National Nana Day. Nina Day. I'm sorry, National Nina Day.
Kelvin
Man,
and
what?
Nina.
I know. What is this?
I don't
National
know.
Report IRS Tax Fraud Day for you snitches.
That's
Snitches get
because
stitches.
taxes are finalized in 5 days.
I know. Now they
If you
want you
don't
to
file,
turn on.
if you
They want to
haven't
turn you
filed
in.
your extension, do it now. I did.
You snitch, you're gonna get stitches. It is that. What is with these names? National Tamara Day, exploring the intriguing
Tamara,
history behind the
Tamara.
name Tamara. Tamara. Why is it National Kendrick Day? I'm gonna declare it National Kendrick Day. There's
There
also
might actually
National.
be. I'm gonna look that up while you finish up.
Look that up. National Youth. Why would you have a day? Well, it's awareness. National Youth HIV and AIDS Awareness Day. Why not just put that with the regular AIDS and HIV Awareness Day?
Because kids are a
Salvation.
different minority of it and they need some different representation because children with it are different from adults with it because they get it from either genetic conditions like they are born with it or they are victims of SA and have to live with that for the rest of their lives. Also, October
That's it.
18th is National Ken Day.
But I couldn't get all the whole Kendrick.
It's Kenneth, it's Kenny, it's Kendrick. You gotta.
So y'all mark that on your calendars. I need all praises and gifts on October 18th, Salvation Army Founders Day, and World Homeopathic Day. Oh, homeopathic. Learn about alternative and complementary medicines. Whew. That is all the holidays for today, April
Busy
10th.
day. Busy day.
I know, very busy. It's April season.
Aries
So,
season.
Aries season, the best season it is out there. Someone said it's not International Naked Day. I think that should be every day. So there, we're going to declare that today too.
I wonder how you actually have to go about like registering a national holiday. Like, do you have to have like a certain amount of people sign off on it or what? Like how do you go about making a national holiday?
We should turn that into a project and we should find out and we should come
National
up with
Lifestyle Day?
national, no, not lifestyle 5 day. We have to distinguish.
Now Lifestyle 5 Day. So does that mean it should be in May? Because May is the fifth month.
We compete with Cinco. Hey, I like where you're going with that. At 5 on 5. I like that. Well, you got some interesting topics to talk about today.
Yes.
Enlighten me.
Well, first let me ask you, my friend, what do you know about the 4B movement?
The 4B movement, I had never in my life heard about it until you mentioned it.
Okay, then I'm going to be very excited to share this with you.
I'm always
So,
curious to learn.
there is something that I want to say first before I get started into this. This is a topic that is very personal to me. It is very serious to me, and it took a lot for me to not have angry words or to speak with rage on this subject. And it will be something that I am going to be leaving after this because I'm not going to be dwelling on negativity like that because I am bringing happiness and abundance into my life. That being said, there are certain things that have to change. For as long as humanity has walked the earth, we have subjugated, suppressed each other in a desperate grasp for power. Tribal wars evolved to religious, governmental, and ethnic feuds. Empires fell, and entire cultures were wiped off the face of the map. People were shackled and peddled like wares in an effort to ensure the superiority of certain groups. God's bless, so many of these conflicts have been resolved. But this is only true to a certain degree. Still to this day, we target and persecute fellow humans for the crime of being different. Recent social unrest has brought welcomed attention to the concerns of many. Movements like Black Lives Matter, the Trevor's Projects, and indigenous land rights movements have aided along the way to shed light on some of these struggles. One such movement, the 4B movement, has recently gleaned a great amount of attention on social media. Sadly, this movement, like so many before, has caused diversion within the global community that can no longer be ignored. The 4B movement, also known as the 4 No's movement, is a nonviolent feminist protest originating in South Korea in 2019, claiming over 4,000 members at the start and roughly 50,000 members currently. The members do not engage in heterosexual relationships, heterosexual marriages, childbearing, or sexual relations with men. 4B stands to protest the misogyny, abuse, expectations, and limitations placed on a little girl from the moment her gender is identified. In the past 5 years, since the 4B movement began, South Korea has reached one of the lowest fertility rates. The death to birth rate ratio is widely skewed. For the first time ever, 150 schools across the countries have no first graders, not a single student in the entire grade. The effect is not felt in Korea alone. Italy, Monaco, Japan, Spain, and many others are experiencing dangerously low birth rates as well. These can also be contributed to non-fertility epidemics as well as housing and economical factors. 5 years. That's all it took for the effect of 4B to be felt. Is it sustainable for us as a human race? Most would say no, and in their minds, they are correct. They feel the continuation of movements like 4B are going to bring up the end of our current way of life or perhaps our entire species. Societies across the globe and histories have pushed the subservient role onto the fairer sex from the beginning. As a woman, you are taught that you are to be seen and not heard, that your place is in the home in addition to working a regular job, that you aren't of value unless you're on the arm of a man. Always presenting yourself perfectly, dressed to accentuate your body. However, do not be too provocative. Never leave the house without makeup, but do not apply it so heavily to avoid looking promiscuous. The conditioning doesn't end at physical appearance. From youth, we are programmed that women need a man to protect and provide for us, to ensure our safety. However, it's her fault that she is a victim of SA. Certainly, she must have led the man on or asked for it in some way. After all, what was she wearing? The conditioning is not based on assumption. It is actively taught by how we treat each other and our children. Your son sees you how you treat a woman, and that is how he will treat a woman. It is a learned behavior. We are taught that acts of violence are a love language women are too hysterical to understand. The boy on the playground only hits you because he likes you. The woman must keep her head down, make the meal, bear the children, keep her man happy. And while this makes the world nicer and prettier for men, many women suffer in silence, covering their depression with makeup, drowning their sadness in alcohol and medication. We are told from birth that our purpose is to make more children, and that's it. In high school, my psychology teacher told the young women in my class that we need to be looking for a partner like we had an antenna receptor on our head because we are at our best. I was 16. This less than standard that women are held to is ingrained in us since childhood, that men are stronger, smarter, and better than women. A recent example. In Wilder, Kentucky, a sixth grade girls basketball team entered the citywide basketball tournament and beat the boys team 7-1. Instead of being proud of these girls or encouraging the boys to be humble and work harder, The league told the girls to go pack sand, a derogatory phrase stating that the girls did nothing of value, that their game was pointless, and barred the team from further competition just before the finals after parents of the players were butthurt that their sons were beaten by girls. The head of the league stated that the cause of concern for the young girls' safety, that they were unsure if the boys would retaliate against the female players if they lost in the finals. American reaction to the 4B moment has been polarized with high emotions on either side of the issue. Traditional family roles in the last 100 years have shifted so much. The idea of a woman wanting equality and dignity is not at all unreasonable. Many current female male relationships do not experience the power dynamics of previous generations, as a good amount of men found a sort of comfort in not having to be the sole provider, offering healthier and more balanced relationships. That being said, there are still many men who see this movement as demanding, unrealistic, unreasonable, or of the devil. Many of these men believe that women have no purpose on this earth apart from childbearing and that they simply need to settle, implying that a woman will die alone if she does not comply or that no one wants her. These statements are especially common for females over a certain age or of a certain body type. In the last week, I have seen many reactions to the movement, with some men going so far as to threaten women with violence and grape if they do not comply. Some men have even chosen to start their own movement in response to 4B, stating that they will not engage with women who do not meet their own standards. This has been widely received by women, however, it does not seem to have the impact that they hoped for. Fuck around and find out season is in full swing. More and more women are joining or supporting the work of 4B by speaking up for themselves. We are tired of fighting to be heard. We are fighting to be treated as an equal human being with more value than the piece of flesh between our legs. From Roe v. Wade being overturned to the movements in our own government making it harder for women to be admitted to college or receive business loans and grants. Women are tired of being backed into the corner and we are coming out swinging. Men cannot threaten us that we will die alone because it is a better alternative than being your toy, maid, and mother our entire lives. Threatening rape and assault no longer has the impact that did when we recall the centuries of abuse and misuse our mothers endured at the hands of our fathers. For years,
Valerie,
we
I
have
have a
tried.
question.
I'm
While you
almost done. I am almost done. I've got 2 paragraphs
Okay.
left, and then
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
Actually, I've got like a little bit more. For years, we have tried to express that what we need in a relationship, in a partnership. Our words have fallen on deaf ears from men who would rather control and display us as a piece of property. We are tired of being ignored and blamed for everything wrong in a man's world. Our planet is overpopulated and we cannot keep going like this. The 4B movement does not take lives in the ways the wars of a male-run government has. It's not starving people for the sake of profit for a corporation usually owned by a man. The mindset of men is the problem. Men are the one with whose wars, men are the ones starting wars with their egos and greed. Men are the ones raping us. Men are the ones we are afraid of. Who are you protecting us from when you are the threat? If men were taught to understand their emotions in healthy ways, to handle their ever apparent urges, there would be no need for the 4B movement or the male loneliness epidemic that they are so concerned with to begin with. If it doesn't happen, and it isn't as if women don't want to be with men or want to be married. Many do, but let it be a choice that happens when it's supposed to happen. Even myself, I want to be a mother one day, and I look forward to having my own children. But my partner has to be someone who respects and cares about me and our family. We lift each other up and pick up where the other lacks because of the partnership. If this is not to be, however, I will accept my fate as a single woman with an amazing life of adventure with her dogs because marriage today is ownership for far too many. The worldly change we need is going to be hard and uncomfortable, but change always is. There is no gray area in this subject. You are either for women's rights to their bodies, lives, equalities, and opportunities, or you are part of the problem.
Question. So these are all Korean women?
No. The 4B movement was originally started in South Korea. And it has gained a lot of attention here in America, and many American women are starting to take on this movement themselves, that they are not going to be in a relationship with a man that does not respect them, that tells them that they need to reach a certain standard of beauty, body type, or that you have to continuously kill yourself at this job, but also go home, take care of all these kids. I'm going to just sit back and play poker with the boys. There is no support, and
Well,
something
American
has to
women already
change.
had a movement going, though. They already had a feminist movement going on in the U.S. So did it just merge in with the 4B, with Korea, the Korean movement, 4B movement? Did it merge in with the women's American feminist movement?
I am unaware of that.
Nope.
Like I said,
No, it didn't.
So
I
they're two
Yeah.
separate movements.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's why I got confused. Because I'm like, American women already had a movement going.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you go first, then I'll go to you.
yeah,
Well,
I've said what I needed to say. Everything I wrote out.
oh, great. That's great awareness for the women and that choose to dwell in the feminist movement. Me as a man, I understand certain things in it, but of course, I'm not a feminine. I'm not feminine. I'm not a woman, so I wouldn't be a part of the feminist movement. But I respect everyone's right to choose and to be themselves, however they choose to be themselves. But it's not all men
I am
that's
aware of that.
doing this.
I made a mention of that. There are men that have good relationships with women, but it is just a fact of the matter that the vast majority of women are in horrible relationships.
Hold on, Fernando.
Every
Hold on.
single woman has been in a
Let him get his
relationship
out.
with a man that made her feel like garbage.
Let
Okay,
him get it
go
out.
ahead, Sean. Then I'm gonna come back in.
So I researched it, and okay, you don't want to be with a man. Your only other choice is a woman or by yourself.
Yeah,
That's your own
perfect,
choice. No one
perfect.
cares. Men don't care because there's a million women out there that's not thinking that. I get it. Women get sexualized, but so do men. Y'all don't want to conform to what we want, but men have to conform to what y'all want. It's the same thing. Y'all just
Really
butthurt about it.
Father's Day. Matter of fact, we was talking. Somebody said I was talking about a trip. Someone said Father's Day is coming up, and I'm like, no one respects a father. We get
They just
nothing. You
butthurt
go look
about
at
it.
look in there, and there's like literally for Mother's Day, you're gonna see half the damn store lit up there. For
Yeah.
men, we're gonna get a aisle, maybe a shelf of things that we get. And I get it. There are some bad men that make it
There
hard
definitely
on
is some
all
bad
of
men.
us. Yeah, that makes it hard on all of us. But I think a lot of this is media hype. It's kind of like I hear a lot of women talk about they're killing themselves and getting BBWs and everything else and butt lifts for
So,
men. No, you're
so
not. I don't know not one guy like Instagram models look good and men will look at that, but most of them are not married. Most of them
they're
are in
not getting
struggling
married.
relationships. And men, the common average everyday men never ask for some of this stuff. The media have glamorized a lot of this stuff. It made it seem like this is what people want. But especially
When
in
you
America, I mean, if you're
when
in the
you tell
US,
me
yeah,
I gotta be 6'3", make 500K and stay in shape,
And
what's
there
wrong
are
with me
some
telling
women like
you?
that.
What's wrong with me telling you? I do that, but I better have food on the table. You gonna make sure these kids get to school, and I don't want to hear your fucking mouth. That's
matter
the
of
same
fact,
thing to me.
we did a podcast a few months ago where we couldn't even take a first date woman on a first date to
Yeah, like
Cheesecake Factory. So
I
I
think
mean,
this
I
movement
get
is
it. In
crazy.
Korea, Korean women are a different thing. They don't have the rights of an American woman.
That's their
So
culture, though. They have
yeah,
nothing to
that's
do
their
with
culture.
us.
That's their culture. I can't speak on them and what they do over there. I get it. Korea, something totally different. Won't speak on Korea, but I think a lot of U.S. women need to take a trip. If they have never been out of this country, go to some of these other countries. And I won't name these countries in case I don't want to get banned for some of these countries. But there are some countries that you go to and a woman as a teenager, you know what you're gonna do for your family? You're gonna be a prostitute. It ain't and it's not here it'd be like, oh my God. But to them, that is part of their culture. They don't have a choice of of a lot of things. They want something nice and they want to feed their family. Matter of fact, I was in Turkey years ago, and I was talking to one of my military somebody, we was talking about, we got on the conversation of Turkey. I found it mind blowing that if in Turkey, and I don't know if it's still this way, but back then, if the husband got into debt in Turkey, you went to jail. First of all, the husband went to jail, and in Turkey, they don't feed you. Your family got to take care of you. And you know how your family take care of you? Until your debt is paid off, they rip your wife out and put her in what's called a compound, where she has to go pull herself out to make money, and your daughter too. Your son, they put him in hard labor, and everybody got to make this money to feed you while you are in jail. And it is a horrible way. Like, could you imagine in the United States, and many people with past due bills and bad credit as we got, how that would be?
Tough.
But in America, although it's not the best country, and it does have this fight, a woman can walk up to a man and say, "Go to hell."
But a woman
you
can
and leave him.
also walk in the middle of the night and not come back the next morning. A woman can
That could
say
be
no to a
anybody.
man
Men do that
in the
too.
middle of a
Yeah,
of a
but I'm just
boardwalk.
saying.
A
I
woman can
get
say
that.
no to a man in the middle of a boardwalk, and he will stab her because he does not take the rejection. It is the fragile egos of men and the constant hero
That
worship
is,
mentality that
They
puts
go both
women
ways.
in a weaker
yeah.
situation. We have to stand together. Enough of this situation where it's man
I've
versus
seen,
woman. We have to stand together on equal terms.
but
No one
how
gender is
can you say stand together when the whole thing and the whole movement was men, 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 men? It wasn't a
Yeah.
togetherness in the
this
whole
is
movement welcoming men.
Ali,
That's all I'm
it's a
saying.
protest for change. It's a protest for change. It's saying we are not going to accept being a machine. We are not going to accept being a baby making. Treat us like a
I don't
person.
think
Give
American
us an
women are treated like
opportunity.
machines.
I would have to just, I don't think American women are
Yeah,
treated. The
they're not.
majority of American men, I don't think the
Are
majority
fucking
of men
entitled and
treat
spoiled as fuck.
my and treat American women as a machine, because women do have the choice. And yeah, there are some fools that will stab women due to rejection. But at the same
But
time,
women
I've
don't
seen
have a choice
videos
anymore.
where women will
Women
walk
don't have a
by
choice.
and see a man get jealous of a man. I seen one video and ran him down with a car. I've seen him with men get windows
Ali,
busted
I'm
out.
not
Men
saying
get
there aren't
killed
bad
too.
people. I'm not saying there aren't bad people on both sides. What I am saying is that y'all's perspective as a man is that a woman has nothing to fear. A woman has nothing to complain about. You go out and work
No,
and they take
I
care of
did.
things.
No, I didn't make that assumption that a woman has nothing to fear or complain about. I just said in America there is a lot of rights. It is we have a problem. Period. I mean,
We have
both
a
male and
problem.
female here in the United States. No, I mean, not just. That's why I don't understand when the feminine movement came out, and it came out against men. A lot of men treat that I know of treat are not for women getting abused or beat. I mean, hell, in India somewhere, I can understand it in some of those countries. Here,
Ali,
a woman has a lot of rights. Now, granted, I'm against it. Now, granted, it is going against with some of the abortion laws around here that I don't agree with, where it's not a choice of a woman's body. But that is something that women need to get together, and that movement need to be handling with these politicians. And they need to be taking their PAC money and running some of these governors and mayors and senators out of office. These are political things. But to stab a woman in the United States is a crime. To rape
You want
a
to go to
woman, well as
jail.
invest, is a crime. Now, in certain countries, that's not a crime. Nothing will happen to you. But in this country, we already have certain laws that prevent this.
but
Well,
they
It's just
don't
kind of
now
hard to
nothing
aren't
can
relate
prevent.
to
enforced.
it.
They aren't enforced. There are so many men on the police force in position of powers that grape women and get 5 months in prison, that pay a fine. That's all. That entire woman's life is either ended or ruined. He gets 5 months in prison before he gets back out because he's a white man. These things keep
You
going
said
back.
that, not
If
me.
they keep,
I mean,
if
but
they keep
we
taking our
all
rights,
face that though. Now that's the
Ali,
thing that Tim was
Ali,
talking about. Now we all up under the rim of that.
Yeah,
Ali,
I
we
mean,
are
think about that.
regressing. We are regressing as a country, taking away the rights of women that we have fought so hard for. If we regress our rights, if people get what they want and women no longer have a right to vote, how long until the slave labor comes back? How long until all of our freedoms are taken away?
I agree
Things
with you
have
there.
to
But
change.
that is a U.S. problem right there. That is a people problem that we have against white supremacy.
I don't think the women's rights are going anywhere. Especially their right to vote. That should never leave. What's
I don't
happening in
know.
the third world country?
I
I
don't
can't
know. I
relate
mean,
to, Ali, because them folks have arranged marriages and shit. It's been like that from the beginning of time. I get that. That shit does not happen here. I don't know why American women want to try to help us something that they don't even go through. 90% of the American women are spoiled and entitled, and they want more than what you give them. And then when we give it to them, they still don't want the shit. They don't. It's y'all got a problem. It ain't just the men. Women are fucking crazy. And I'm not a
say
I'm not a
society.
I'm not
I
a
would
womanizer.
generalize it.
I was raised by women, and I respect women.
Mhm.
But a lot of y'all don't got y'all shit together. But we gotta have our shit together. So when we demand something from y'all, it's a problem. That's
But
stupid
if
and
a
crazy to
woman
me.
does have her shit together, she's a threat. I would
No,
be a
she
threat.
want a woman. Then she don't want a man. She want to be the man.
I don't want to be a man. I, as a businesswoman, as someone who is starting her own business, I am a threat because I am a powerful woman. I do not want to be the man. I want a partnership. I want someone who's going to stand beside me and say, baby, you're pushing yourself too far. Let me take the kids out for a little bit so
People,
you
no,
can
there
have
are a
some
lot of men
time.
doing it. Matter of fact, a lot of men are actually getting custody of their children and taking their kids
I
and
think
raising
But there are a lot of men that are keeping women trapped by forcing them to have more babies, by raping them again and again and again, making them have more babies,
what
making them stay
what
home. And you can't say
what
this isn't real because this has happened in my life.
yeah, I don't see a
I'm
man
just
raping you
saying.
and getting you pregnant multiple times. I don't see how
I
that
mean,
works.
I'm
You not
not gonna.
calling
It
it out.
does. Okay, it does happen, but I would say that it is out of the 400 million. It is not. It's not acceptable. First of all, I would say that, but
It's not.
I would not say that it is the overwhelming majority population and norm. And most people are not. Oh, we got a guest that came in on
Oh yeah,
this.
I had to come in.
Ali, it is not the norm for you.
Welcome.
You are not the one being affected by this. You may see it as some women, you're seeing it as the women in your life. The women I've seen in my life, the women on TikTok that have had these reactions, the negative reactions from the men of like, she's an 8 point, she's a 3.5. She doesn't have a right to be saying this shit. We have been categorized, ostracized, and labeled from the moment we were born. So, yes, we are fucking tired. Yes, there are some women in this
It's a
country that
difference
are
between
very
a
No,
entitled.
man's
it's more than
opinion,
some.
though.
It's a lot of
But
women that
okay,
do that to men. A
but I'm
lot.
just saying, but let's separate this out. It is a big difference between a man's opinion of a woman and straight up crimes. And I want to just because we can always gonna go back and forth, and everybody's gonna have their different opinion. Now, I'm addressing the crime part of the issue of men raping a woman,
And
beating them,
Emred,
and killing them. Now, does that happen? Yes, it does happen. However, I will say that that is not the overwhelming majority of men that are beating, killing, and raping women. They are a lot of men are in jail. Hell, some men are in jail that didn't even rape the women; that just touched them.
You got a lot of
So,
them.
yeah, a lot of them. So there are laws. Now there are people that get through the cracks. I won't deny that. But to say that
it's not cracks.
if
It's
this
a
happened, I
fucking
really want to know about
cavern.
if this is happening.
So
That go ahead, welcome Danielle.
hold
I
on a
We
need
call
I
her
second.
the
need a
sexy
moment.
I
You
crypt
was
speak,
keeper.
my love.
I was doing dishes, doing laundry, listening, and chatting. Someone, I gotta jump in on this. So I'm trying to say this the correct way. All right, I get what she's coming from, but I get where you're coming from. We're in America, so the rules or laws are totally different. Like
Mm-hmm.
you said, if a man is going to rape a female, he's going to do time. I've been in a
Yeah.
situation, not going to get too personal. I've been in a situation where I was roofied and ended up in a position that wasn't and pressed charges, and the man is still in jail. Okay. And then look at it on the aspect of a Black female, and they don't take us serious. You know what I'm saying? But laws are changing. right? And I'm not going to get too much into this, but my mom was murdered in February by 4 white men, and they didn't take her murder serious. They said because she's a Black female, she had a heart attack. But because of who I am and the role I play at my job is what got these 4 white men 45 years, right? So it goes both ways, but I think, you know, her analogy is in a different country, and here it does happen. Human trafficking does happen in DC.
Yeah, definitely, that's real.
But the cause and the effect are still standing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not getting slapped on their hand. You know what I mean? They're not getting 5 months. You know,
when they get caught, they going the fuck away.
Yeah, they are, and it doesn't even matter the nationality. But you know, it took us a long time to get to where we are right now. But it is it's progressing and it is changing.
And that's the point that I'm making. Yeah, it is. It shouldn't be that way. Like I said, there are people that get through the cracks and get nothing, but that happens every time. But like I said, in some of the countries I've been into, nothing would happen. This happens on a regular basis. Hell, you go to Japan and it's nothing to be looking at a regular, I don't know, Vogue magazine, and there's some school child naked with the school uniform on in the middle of the damn magazine. So I get it.
I get why those countries have those kind of movements. They need that kind of shit.
Yeah, I get.
The American women have already fought for their rights. I don't see why American women want to join into this shit.
It's a matter of enforcing. And the thing is, when these things like the TikTok people, like the woman of the girls or whatever that got raped on TikTok or whatever, and nothing happened to their assailant or whatever happened, I think. Well, instead of going after all men, we need to figure out where they're at, and we need to go after those people that done that to them and get them justice. And whatever judge and whatever that did not sentence them properly. Yeah, we've done podcasts. LaToya Jackson, she was on here. She got raped in Mississippi, and they told her, we don't know if the state want to waste money on a rape kit.
Right.
On this podcast a couple months, they still haven't found her rapist. So yeah, I know it happens for a fact. Christine, I can't think of her last, Lynette or whatever. She was on this podcast, white lady. She got raped right here in Georgia by a police officer. Police officer pulled her over, took her into she tells the story right here on this podcast. Tells the story how he raped her, and when she came up, this was about 2 years ago, he was actually coming up. He did 5 years or so. He was actually coming up for parole, and we were like, he doesn't deserve to be out. He should hang and burn. And luckily, they disapproved his parole, and he's still in jail, as far as I know. So yeah, we've actually had victims that come on this show. And
I'm not against you. I get us women coming together. I want y'all to stick together. I understand that.
Yeah.
But we don't have the Korean men over here that's doing that. American women are taking that shit out. Y'all taking it out on us. On regular American men that's not even doing half the shit that those men doing.
That effect is still felt here. That effect is still felt here. So
I don't
many
think
of
it's the
y'all's
same
daughters. So many of y'all's daughters are going to have to deal with this.
Where do you feel like it? Where do you feel it in the United States? Like where?
It's not a geographical location. It's a generalized mindset that a woman is an object, that the woman is the prize at the end of the tunnel, that she is the object on your arm. She is an accessory.
Oh yeah,
it's a generalized mindset of men. And there are so many men that like, oh, my brothers would never do that, but they weren't doing that when you're with them. Men are big. Men are strong. Men are scary. And Red's saying like how a woman's not going to be raped again and again and again. She's not going to say anything because she's so scared. Not every woman is brave. Not every woman has been told that she is worth love, that she is worth deserving. There are women from the moment that they are born are told that they have a certain role, that they have to fit into a certain image. And anything that goes against that, they are pushed, they are suppressed, they are beaten. You can't say that this isn't a thing that is happening in this country. Go look on TikTok.
I don't know a woman that's been there.
You could look at the different reactions of the men that are saying, what is your purpose here as a woman if you are not creating a child?
I don't know nobody that thinks like that.
There are some men that think that way, but I don't think a majority of men in the United States feel that way. You know, some people that are grown, like racism, right? Racism is taught at a young age and it's embedded in a bloodline. But until a man gets older, then he realizes, you know, that's the negative. Like, I don't want to be like that person. So if they're taught that way, then they're going to feel that way. But I don't think majority of men go around looking at, oh, I'm bigger and superior than her. You know, I'm going to try to rape her to see. But it does happen. It does happen. But I don't
the minority.
I don't think it's like a big issue here. I think what we need to be hitting head on is racism. Is the number one thing. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's still progressing more than...
I absolutely agree. Racism, Black women are one of the most suppressed individuals. That is one reason why I fully support the queens. You are beautiful. You are a goddess. Also, your hair is a literal work of art. A Black woman is an image of power.
I have to say, I think we spoke on that last week. Women, I hate to bubble pop. The only way to be a queen is to be married to a king. That's just in the royal stack. I just want to throw that out there. But
I'm sorry, Ali. I am a self-serving queen. I do not need someone to validate my royalty.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna go by the use British terms and that monarchy, then you have to go by. If you're gonna use their labels, then you have to go by their rules in the game. If you're gonna play chess, you got to play how they play. That's just the way it is.
My game, bitch. My game.
I mean,
the game is
just like all men. It's just like all men ain't king. It's just like as a man punching a clock, I can't call myself a damn king. I'm not. Kings don't take orders; they give them.
But here's my like the stuff that you explaining. It happens to men too.
I'm aware it happens to men.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm aware there are bad things on both sides of the front. However,
especially if you've been to a Diddy party.
It is a constant issue for more women. It is a constant issue. The idea, you have to understand, like, as a woman, the idea of a good man, someone who loves and respects you, is a fucking fantasy. Because so many of us
not really.
Not really. There's plenty of women that got men that love and respect them.
Ali, Emred, have you dated a man? Have you had someone look at you and say, like, nah, you're too fat. Nah, we're not going out.
Women say that shit all the time.
Okay, but let's separate something that. Okay, what we're doing is we're mixing in someone's opinion and with a movement. A person has that right, and that's the thing. We're in this thing where anything that offends somebody is wrong. I have that right to say I don't like her. For whatever reason, too tall, too short, too fat, whatever it is, the color of her skin, that is my right. The same way that woman has that same right to say, hey, I don't like him. He's black, he's ugly, whatever. That isn't an opinion
but to
that
say
someone
that
has.
You don't like that woman, but she still must give you a child. But she still
gotta give me. If I don't like her, she can give me shit.
Okay, I'm saying, if I don't like her and we're not together, I mean, you just don't. This ain't the where I just take a club. What they call it, the Stone Ages. This ain't the Flintstones where you just walk up to a woman and club across her head and you come with me and you just have babies. If you're having a baby by somebody, chances are I would think y'all kind of like each other, some type of attraction. And then now one night stands, unless you had too much to drink on a Saturday night or whatever, and wake up. Now that happens, but that's both of you are at fault at that. But in the norm of things, men just don't grab women and just say, "You're gonna give me a baby."
And there are good men out there. I've dated plenty of good men where I fumbled the ball. Where I was just like, well, I'm not ready for a good guy. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to chase
and the one relationship that I had that was a good relationship, I was too damaged to accept the love.
Correct. That ruins
and that is what I am focusing on now. I am not going to accept someone that doesn't see me as valuable, but also I have to fucking heal from all the trauma that I have received from a man. I have received from multiple men in my family, men in my community, men in general. I'm not saying that it is a man is worse than a woman. I'm saying we need to talk to each other about what we need as individuals. There is no one size fits all mentality. There is no one right way to do something. There is no one ideal relationship. And I'm sorry if you guys got upset with me, but this is a serious issue that many women still
I'm not
face.
upset.
I am
I mean,
no
aware
one's
that
upset.
it's a
I'm aware
debate.
that you guys as men have faced similar issues. And I'm aware that there are some women that just straight up are bitches. That just straight up are so shallow and egotistical, they're gonna be like, nah, my pussy is a gift from the God. You have to give me everything for it. But I'm
I
sorry,
know.
I'm not like that.
I
I
know.
want someone who is going to stand beside
But
me as an
and you
equal.
will get
So
that
you will get
once you heal. You
once
will
you heal
get that
that.
once you heal. Yeah. Only
Exactly.
thing I'm doing. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dan.
No. You're talking. You have to heal
I'm just saying.
to be able to
I'm
be
just saying.
in a
You
relationship.
will get there, and no one's upset with you. I'm just saying we have to be careful when we cast generalities out there amongst everybody and take certain individual things and spread it, and certain things that we speak about, especially publicly,
Yeah.
as they
And I
say, make a.
listen. I think you gonna get what you're looking for, but Brandon, you got to be looking for that,
And
and
you got to heal.
you got to be willing to accept it. You might not see it at first. That don't mean he's not a good guy. You
And
got to be
heartbreaks
willing to
are just a
accept it.
part of the way it is. You got to get your heart broken
Yeah.
Yeah,
to get to the right person.
everybody gonna
There
go
ain't
through
no
that.
air. There ain't no never getting your heart broke and people not doing that. That doesn't exist. That's a fairy tale.
I
I
just
don't
Life.
know
don't
a
want to.
man. I don't know any male that's a womanizer. Like, and I have a lot
And
of
that's a
friends.
blessing.
I've been
That
around
shows
a
a
lot of
great
men.
standard of character
It's
that
not.
you carry, but
No,
not
it's just
everyone
not.
carries
It's
that.
not feasible. Like, them people are straight monsters, and they're far few. It's few of them. It's not a lot of them.
There's a
It's not
lot
a lot
more
of
than
them.
it seems.
Where
There's
are
a
you
lot
looking?
more. You look on TikTok at all the Roe v. Wade stuff. You look at the men that are saying the
I mean, but
horrible
if you go
things
looking
about
for that,
how
you
women
gonna
need to
see that.
settle.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
only a few
There
people have a
has to be a change.
platform, though. When you say look on TikTok and the ones that's passing, those are lawmakers that's passing the Roe v. Wade. That's just like that's a small majority. That is a small
Yeah,
minority, shall I say, speaking for the majority.
yeah. You go if you looking for that, you gonna see it.
It depends on the environment she's looking at too, right? Like
It
if you
does.
keep
Of
I'm
course.
aware.
yeah, if you're looking at the same place at the, you know what I mean, the same continuous time, you're gonna find that you're gonna get the same results. But again, you have to heal first within before you bring yourself into a relationship with somebody else, because you're coming to it. Anybody's coming to a table with negativity is coming in toxic, right? And a man or a woman is not going to sit there and deal with it when they're like you're stuck on, you know, this what happened in my past, and then we only have 5 minutes until the next radio show. So I just want to make sure until we, you know. But yeah, once you heal, you will find, Vanna, you will find that person, and we'll be on the next episode talking about how wonderful this man is, and he cherishes you, and
You hit a key point. You have to watch your environment and your atmosphere. What I have noticed, though, with a lot of women that have been damaged or have been through different traumas, they tend to stay in that pattern over and
comfort.
over and over
It's
again.
comfort,
They
Ali.
don't.
Dance with the devil you know. That
Okay,
woman hasn't been told
but
she deserves
and
more.
some
That woman
well,
hasn't been
Jesus
told
did.
that she deserves something better. There's going to continually accept that same kind of relationship because that is what her mother had. That is what her sister had. That is what her society, her culture has told her she deserves. Women of poverty, women of color, women of minorities, women of larger sizes. Do you know how many women in my own family have gone through these garbage relationships and stayed with horrible men because they told them that they would never have someone else?
I agree. But you got to look at it as, okay, enough is enough, right? And
Enough
where,
is enough. We
you
have
know,
to
sometimes
change.
you got to open that door and take that walk and be lonely at
No,
times. You know,
no, no, no.
I am
Let's.
perfectly
I
I
want
am
to correct
perfectly
something.
fine being
The
alone for the
only
rest of my life.
the only person that has to change in the situation
yourself.
is the victim.
That's
That's
it.
the only place that you can command. You know, if I'm in a situation I don't like, I have to get out of that situation. I have to change. I don't have people around my circle that do certain things. Certain things don't exist in my world because I cast anybody out that brings any bullshit into my world that I don't agree with or line up with.
Because you
You're
have
not in
that
my circle.
self-love. You have that self-love for yourself of
But it's
I
called
am this
self
awesome
love.
force.
But I'm just saying, I can't give you self love and no one else can. That's why it's called self love. I know people are victimized and whatever happened, they may have not been taught, but it has to be discovered. You have to discover that self-love for yourself. People can tell you all day long about it, but you have to wake up one day in the mirror and say, I am worthy. I want more. I'm no longer going to tolerate this. And
And
only you can make
let's
that
clear it up,
decision.
bro. Clear it up. I'm telling you, we definitely support women's rights. We want y'all to get what y'all asking for. I don't want y'all to think this is we like, fuck.
But
no, it's not
no,
that.
yeah, no, it's not
I just
that.
want to
But
make sure we
women, you
speak
got
for
to
the
realize,
man too.
women and men, you are enough.
Exactly.
You have to make the decision for yourself. No one
I
can come blanket you and swoop in and put you. You got to make that hard choice. It's hard. It's not easy.
I
But
feel if
only
this
you can do
next
it.
generation was raised with that mentality of, are you proud of you? Are you happy for you? If they were raised with awareness, with kindness, with love, with racism is a learned behavior. And it is something that my mother fought very hard to unlearn from my family. Hell, both of my sisters are biracial. Both of my sisters-in-laws are biracial because my family in this recent generation has been taught for more love. And that's not something that I can say for my grandparents, for my cousins, for my baby cousins that
That
are
show that
recently
you have
born.
been made, but Vanna, you see the advancement. You got to look at from the history of women since there's been an earth. We have had this conversation. This is not a new conversation.
No, it's
Since the
not. And
history
it's
of time.
crazy that we
However,
haven't made any progress.
well, we have. We've made a lot of
Yeah, we definitely
progress.
made some
You
progress.
have the option. You have the option right now to not associate with anybody that don't treat you kindly or the way you feel you want to
Yeah.
or the way you want to be treated. You have that option. They didn't have that option. Women were stoned and killed. And that's what I'm saying. Realize the power that you already have. You don't, we already have laws on the book. Well, you don't need a movement. You just need to make these lawmakers enforce the laws that we already have in this country for you.
I'm not a rich white man,
Instead
so
of
I
that,
can't get that to happen.
Oh,
Those
so
are
you
you
the
gotta,
can.
people that make the bills happen. Those are the people
Oh,
that make those changes happen. We need to
but,
overturn our government and get all the old ass white men out of
okay,
there and get some new people
but,
in that actually know what's going on
We
but,
and
don't need
not
that.
hate each other so much.
but think about it though. Who are the women voting with?
The rich white
This
man.
is a divide. And that's what I'm saying. We divide into all these different groups. Like I said before in the other pie, left wing, right wing, we both on the same damn dying bird. We
Yeah.
have
Yeah, it's like
senseless
we need to
arguments.
stop fighting.
But
We
I'm just
need to
saying,
stop fighting.
I'm about to mute all y'all.
all right, as our time up, check us out on WDJY 99.1. Right now, well, we got this lady, she's below me. I call her the lovely Crypt Keeper.
Crib keeper.
We interviewed her and she has an awesome show. I just got one question for you though, Danielle, that I seen that someone wanted me to ask. They say that the cost of funerals is rising.
it is. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, it
But the
is.
number one question that everybody want to know, how can you blame that on the cost of living? You know,
Good night.
we're gonna pick this up. We gotta pick this
Fuck y'all
out. We'll
end this
catch
shit
y'all
like
next
this.
Wednesday.
Oh, shit.
WDJY,
What is the most volatile
www.after5.com.
ass podcast ever?
Nah, Tim's not here. It could have been a lot more volatile.
Oh God, cryptocurrency
We
volatile in this
respect you,
bitch.
women. We love that. We know we love that. We love everybody. Y'all take
Oh,
care. We'll
shit.
catch y'all next Wednesday.
This motherfucker crazy.